So let's talk about how a single, powerful idea from one person can end up defining an entire country for decades. Today we're diving into Antonio Salazar's Portugal, and how his whole philosophy, his entire rule, really boils down to one simple but incredibly absolute sentence.
And this is it. This is where it all begins. Nothing against the nation, everything for the nation. You know, on the surface, it sounds patriotic, right? It sounds strong, unifying, but it's also completely uncompromising. And this single idea became the bedrock of a government that held power for almost 40 years.
But that immediately makes you wonder, doesn't it? When a leader says everything for the nation and absolutely nothing against it, what does that actually look like for the people on the ground? What kind of society does that create? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
To really get a handle on Salazar's regime, we can't just see this quote as a slogan. We have to treat it like a blueprint. It's the core command, and everything else, everything was built from it. Because the second you say everything for the nation, you've drawn a line in the sand. You've set up this fundamental conflict, this tension between what an individual person might want, their own freedoms, their own rights, and the all-powerful demands of the collective, which of course is defined by the state.
And this really sets up a battle of ideas. On one side, you've got everything that makes up individual freedom. Personal liberty, being able to speak your mind, the right to disagree. But on the other side, you have the demands of Salazar's nation, complete unity, total state control, and absolute order. In that equation, something's got to give.
Okay, so if you've decided that the nation is the supreme #1 priority, the next question is pretty obvious. How do you enforce that? How do you actually turn that idea into reality and make sure millions of people fall in line with that one single vision?
Yeah, an idea this extreme, it's not going to work just by asking nicely. To guarantee that there's truly nothing against the nation, a leader is going to need some very specific, very powerful tools to enforce that will and crush any kind of opposition.
And when you look at how Salazar made his mantra a reality, two key instruments pop up again and again. These weren't just abstract ideas, they were the real practical gears of his power, a secret police dictatorship to control things at home and colonial repression to control things abroad.
So first up, you've got the secret police. This is your internal tool. Its entire job is to watch the population, find anyone who might be considered against the nation and, well, neutralize them. This creates a constant atmosphere of fear where speaking out is just too dangerous, ensuring obedience from the inside. And the second tool, colonial repression, that's all about external control. See, for Salazar's nation to be powerful, its colonies had to serve its needs, no questions asked. So any push for independence, any fight for basic rights in the colonies was seen as an attack on the nation itself, and it was put down with force.
All right, so now we have all the pieces on the board. We have the man, we have his mantra, and we have his methods. Let's put it all together and see the final, pretty chilling math of how a system like this actually works. When you break it down, the logic is actually a simple 3-step playbook. Step 1, you set the core rule. The nation is everything. Step 2, you use that rule to label anyone or anything that disagrees with you as a threat. And Step 3, you unleash your tools, the secret police, the military, to get rid of those threats. And here's the most crucial takeaway. That quote, everything for the nation, it's not just a fancy phrase. It's the moral permission slip. It's the philosophical justification for all the harsh measures that follow. The ideology itself becomes the reason the repression is seen as necessary.
And that really leaves us with one final heavy question to think about. The entire system is built on this idea of putting the collective group above all else. But it forces us to ask, in a world where the nation is truly everything, what is a single person worth?